Good day to you. This is Dr. Andrew Godperson of the Life Worlds team. I welcome you to the second part of our Life Balance series, and today I'd like to introduce you to the concepts of burnout and bore-out, the complete opposites to life balance. First of all, I want to inform you about burnout, define the concept, show you the ideal typical process and the causes of burnout. Then coming to bore-out, which I try to explain through a definition and the two paradoxa of bore-out. Finally, I'd like to give you an outlook how you can prevent burnout and bore-out. But firstly, what is burnout? To keep it simple, burnout is just a state of exhaustion on cognitive, emotional and physical level. If you're affected, you can experience several symptoms on 3 levels. You'll probably have a loss of energy and lose perspective and motivation in life. It's highly likely that you suffer from some psychological disorders like as depressions or social disorders, which could be aggressive behavior. And also you face a higher risk of being addicted to alcohol or drugs. Now, what is the ideal typical process of a burnout syndrome? Each specific or individual case has its own specifics. So do not take what I show you now word for word, but it shows you how burnout or the process of burnout looks like. It all starts that you perceive high expectations coming from yourself or from a reference person, and you have the strong will to fulfill these expectations, these high values. Then you invest more time in working, and more energy in working, and neglect other areas of life. Stress and other things occur, so you face mental problems, but you ignore them. With time, your life values change, and more you focus only or nearly only on the values of your performance and achievements. You reduce your social contacts and evaluate them. Self-doubts come up, and that affects your self-esteem, and you could suffer from a lack of self-esteem. Now life gets harder and you have cognitive imbalances. What happens? You depersonalize yourself and also others. That means you try to act like a machine in an emotional or emotionless world. And now on the second last stage of burnout, disillusions come up, and probably you will try to overcompensate them, for example, in higher abuse of alcohol. And finally, burnout can lead to depressions and also to thoughts of suicide, or actually to the attempts to commit suicide. Now, defining burnout and showing you what burnout is, or how the process of burnout looks like, what are the causes of burnout. Firstly, you can see burnout as a mismatch of challenges and resources. If the challenges you face are constantly higher than your resources, and significantly higher than your resources, you are threatened to face a burnout. But also, you invest or put a huge engagement into some project, into work, in some area of life, and the rewards you get from that are smaller. So your engagement and your rewards are not matching. That also leads to burnout. And what could have an influence is that you have a strong value of fulfilling duty towards others or towards yourself, towards higher values. That could also increase the likability to suffer from a burnout. Now, what is bore-out? It's more or less the opposite of burnout. You can simply define it as a state of boredom, monotony, and being under-challenged in combination with a lack of rewards and motivation. That means as well there's a mismatch of challenges and resources. That means your resources are significantly higher than your challenges, or the challenges are significantly lower than your resources, and you're just under-challenged. Now, the two paradoxes of bore-out is first the bore-out spiral. As mentioned, you feel under-challenged. Because of these under-challenged tasks you face, you do not reward yourself. You do not see that you've done something good by solving a problem or just working in whatever situation you are. If there's a decrease of self-rewarding, that means there's a decrease of motivation. And if there's a decrease of motivation, you probably feel more and more that your task or the situation you're in is under-challenging you. And that goes on and repeats itself. That is the first paradoxon of bore-out. The second one is bore-out can cause stress. At first glance you may say, what? How can that be? A bore-out person must be really relaxed. But that is not the case. Just imagine you're in a situation where you're constantly under challenge, so the situation does not match your expectations. So you experience cognitive imbalances. And then think you have not the opportunity to change the situation. For instance, often you cannot change your job overnight. So you're trapped in bore-out. And that goes on and on. So you're permanently facing bore-out, and that causes stress because you cannot change your situation that you really find uncomfortable or unpleasant. How to prevent bore-out and burnout? I just would like to give you a short outlook, because later on in later videos we'll deal with life balance strategies, and these strategies you can also use to prevent burnout and bore-out. But of course, what you can do is change your life values, your scale of evaluating your life, and you can prevent bore-out or burnout. The causal strategies of prevention, or the causal ways to cope with burnout or bore-out, are time management, the allocation of time, and the change of situation and modifying your behavior. Last but not least, through emotive strategies such as relaxation techniques, self-instruction training, and so on, you can ease the effects of stressful situations and of burnout or bore-out situations. All in all, to give you an overall perspective, the best way to prevent burnout and bore-out is to build and sustain a stable life in balance and reach for a high quality of life. So integrate your burnout and bore-out prevention in a larger concept that leads to life balance. With that, you also have a positive motivation where you want to go to, not only what you want to avoid. Anyway, I hope you could get some useful information. If you want to know more, go to our website, lifer-life-balance.org, where you can find also a burnout bore-out analyzer, a tool that can help you to understand your situation and find strategies to build a life in balance and reduce burnout or bore-out. For now, I say goodbye, wish you all the best, and take care.